Promoting entrepreneurship has now become kind of part of our DNA. We have a whole bunch of different programs. I think the one that kind of brings it all together is CreateX.
CreateX is a Georgia Tech initiative where we help students gain entrepreneurial confidence and we help them launch successful companies.
CreateX began just like on one of these opportune moments. We had this program in Venture Prize, which is another one of our student competitions, and Venture Prize is kind of American Idol for nerds. A couple weeks later, the winning team came to me and said, "What do we do next?" And I was like, "What do you mean, what do you do next?" And we realized that even though we were really good at generating ideas, we weren't giving them the tools to build the sustainable enterprise. And so I went to two colleagues, and that summer we pulled together funding to start 5 student startups. And this past summer we did 100 student startups.
And over the last 8 years, CreateX has helped launch over 350 ventures founded by our students. The total valuation of these companies is now approaching $2 billion.
It's really about, instead of challenging our students to be good problem solvers, challenging our students to be good problem finders.
And that's where I think this thirst that students have to see what kind of impact they can have, and then entrepreneurship being a vehicle that they can use to deliver that impact is a perfect marriage.
We are making innovations that's really changing the human condition, and that's in a ton of different areas. And so the fact that we are building solutions that are affecting everyday lives, we cannot do that without donor support.
My research here focuses on the chemistry of marine critters, plants, and microbes, and seeing if we can use that chemistry for human medicine. We have the potential to discover these life-saving and history-altering drugs that come from biologically diverse ecosystems. To get that goal accomplished, whether it's to discover and put into the clinic a drug to save people from Alzheimer's, or to justify the conservation of an entire body of the ocean, I feel like I can do that, even just by the little tiny contributions of my science.
Having the research experience as a student prepares you for a job, even if it's not their research. CEOs, what they tell you is what they need in their new employees. They need people who can work well with others, better in teams. They need leaders. They need people who can explain themselves, who can communicate verbally and in writing. Well, every single one of these skills has to do with research.
The complexity, unpredictability, volatility, digitization, and resource constraints have increased tremendously in the world. And that has implications for the kind of talent and skills that we need to develop in our students. In order to develop those talents, we need world-class faculty.
And we're going to focus on infrastructure, like endowed chairs and professorships. The best faculty gives us the latest and greatest, the information that's not in the textbook, right? And so we're able to get that to our students immediately.
Georgia Tech understands that if you want a better future, it has to be from the people who are closest to the young minds, and that is the faculty member for us. They are also passionate about their work, that it makes me want to be passionate about my work.
We have a great faculty member, Tarek Raka, who won the Solar Decathlon this last year with a group of students drawn from many different parts of the Institute. They basically did this incredible flyover and analysis of a house on the west side of Atlanta, figure out how to bring this house up to be something that is basically net positive from an energy point of view. They got to work with the faculty member, they got to work with the community, they got to do really sophisticated analysis, they got to go to a national competition, and then they get to win. That's a fantastic experience. And you see it with CreateX, you see it with all these other things that we do with our students that are really creative and transformative.
The new ISYE building, which is going to be called the George Tower, is a source of great pride for us. It gives people great educational opportunities, and it's at the center of Tech Square. So there's going to be great collaboration between the entrepreneurs over at the Biltmore, the corporate research centers, the business school, right connected with it.
We care as much about the impact of the research as the fundamental nature of the research. And so if you care about impact and not just developing fundamental truths, but in terms of how those truths can be translated into impact, then Georgia Tech is the place to be.
Transforming tomorrow.
The campaign for Georgia Tech.